Serena.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That'll be our opener.
Right. I forgot.
Alrighty.
Make sure that you preface that this
Oh,
is not
yeah.
going to be.
Yeah, it's well, it's time to get started. Well, if you need to close the door, now's probably the time to do it, because we're ready to go.
Yeah. It's just going to be a good start.
I mean, I don't know.
Did someone leave a soda at the...
Oh, yeah. First, I forget my ID. Then
That's
Sorry,
okay.
I thought that might be good.
Professional panel, folks. Professional panel. Alright, so just to give you an idea of what kind of material you're in for, this is going to be our warm-up. Serena wasn't like most girls who have vaginas.
On this day, as she walked into the coffee shop, she giggled shyly as her boobs got stuck in the door. Her light linen shirt showed her knee knocks as the sun shone on her skin-covered body. And from across the way, she couldn't help but notice.
Ah, she has eyes, Curtis thought to himself. But not too many. While she stood in line, he covertly checked out her butt. It was a good butt, round, and not covered in any centipedes. Swear to God.
His simple gaze made her mossy bank call out in a rush of liquid. Not like a river, more like when you accidentally pee a little. Her vagina alerting her to his presence. Her vagina said, "Yo, check out the fox." Off to a stellar start.
Yo, yeah. This is the warm up before we get to the real show. It's what we call an opener, kids.
Cold open.
As she turned and their eyes met, his penis moved as she shot her sex beans into his head through her eyes and into his head. He didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of his greatest adventure in regional small appliance sales. She walked up to his table and sat down.
Is this Superstore fanfiction?
No, I have no idea.
Her vagina belched. He found her giggle intoxicating as she lowered her eyes and said, "Excuse me." His penis sang a little song in reply to her vaginal call. And
That's the end of the warm-up. And now, yeah, that was to get you all in the mood.
in the mood,
Just to let you know if you have any proclivities, if that's a little bit too strong, maybe you want to leave now. If you're in the mood to sit around here and listen to us do a bunch of silly shit, please stay. So, I first did this story way back in 2017.
I was there.
Yeah, and I tried to find something fresh, new, enjoyable. Hell, I even used an AI machine to try to pump something out that would be ridiculously terrible, but none of them could really work. And this one is uniquely terrible in that it's awful in a way that you can't help but keep listening to. It's like a car crash for all of your senses.
You can read along if you want,
Yeah.
because we're about to read
Sonic High School.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Sonic woke up and looked at the clock. 7, it said, and Sonic screamed, "Oh no, I'm late for school. I have to get to school. Now, for the Matrix, school," said Sonic, jumping out of bed. Sonic put his clothes on real fast. and ran out of his room because he is fast. No time for breakfast, said Sonic as he ran past Sonic's mom. You will regret this, said Sonic's mom, leering at him from the kitchen stove, wearing aprons and oven mitts on her hands. Sonic did not care. He was late. Sonic ran outside and ran to the bus stop, where people were getting on the bus. Yeah, Tails, Knuckles, wait for me, said Sonic as he ran towards the bus. Hey, Knuckles, it's Sonic, said Tails to Knuckles at the bus stop. He is late, said Knuckles to Tails before getting on the bus. Sonic ran so fast to the bus, and he got on the bus after Tails. Well, just in time, said Sonic, huffing and puffing like he was doing the Cupid Shuffle for the first time. Sonic sat down next to Tails, and Knuckles sat behind them, taking up both seats. I am so bad, said Knuckles, laughing because he sat where two people could sit. Knuckles did this every day, and no one bothered him, but they all knew it was against the rules of both man and God. The bus started and drove at the school and parked, and they got out.
Let me read this part because you're gonna read the misses.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got it.
Okay.
We're at school now, said Tails. I'm not gonna do the Christopher Walken
That's
voice.
fine.
I'm sorry.
You do what you want, baby.
It is time to go to class. Sonic was also at school, so he went to his first class of the day. It was English class. Sonic did not like English very much, but he did not like any class that was not about... He did not like any class very much that was not about running and going fast, which is what Sonic does best. Sonic got to his class and sat down at his seat.
It is journal day, said Sonic's English teacher, Mrs. Lesson. Mrs. Lesson was tall and white and had gray hair, and she was not pretty, sort of like a Nazi.
What?
Take out your journals and put them in a pile, and I will read one of your entries to the class. Sonic took out his blue journal and ran to the front quickly and put his journal on her desk and ran back to his desk, all with his head down and not talking or looking at anyone. Sonic was so fast that he did it first. Everybody else did it afterwards and, slower. Mrs. Lesson grabbed the journal from the pile, and Sonic knew it was his because it looked just like Sonic's journal. Sonic knew this because he had written in it so many times, it was like crazy. Mrs. Lesson opened to a totally random page, and it was the worst page she could pick. She began to read, Dear Journal, I called the doctor today about a problem. I have a problem with my balls. They are itchy, and it's difficult to sit still with them because they are so itchy. I have to back up against staccato surfaces and rub up and down on them to relieve the itchiness. No creams have worked. Creams only make my ball sweat smell like the breath of a thoroughbred. And I think Amy, my girlfriend, has noticed. I hope my doctor calls. Love, Sonic. Oh no, stop reading, said Sonic. But he reacted too late because it was already read.
All of it.
Everyone in class laughed, and Sonic felt like an idiot asshole because now everyone knows all about his ball problems. Sonic felt his rage build up inside him like a pool of lava in a volcano. Come on, stop laughing at me. Don't tell anyone, shouted Sonic, but everyone was laughing so loud that they did not hear him, and Sonic was so embarrassed and mad and sad, but, more embarrassed, so he ran out of class fast. Sonic ran to his locker and opened it and screamed into it. He screamed, "This sucks!"
And curse words, too.
What is the problem? Said Tails. Are you mad? Said Tails. Sonic was mad, so he nodded. You should tell everyone that it is okay. There are problems with your balls. And that they probably have problems that they do not want everyone to know about, too. So stop laughing at me. Sonic thought Tails was right because Tails was smart. Knuckles was there, too, so he said, Sonic, what is this? I heard you're having problems with your penis and your balls. Sonic was so mad. Again. So he punched Knuckles and ran away quick.
Yeah. Where Sonic ran to was his next class. It is now second period, so it was okay. And that class was history class. Sonic did not care about history class. "Hey Amy," said Sonic, "check me out." And Sonic did a dance move. "Wow, cool, let's kiss," said Amy. And Sonic and Amy kissed right there in the class, and some other people in the class watched. But the teacher wasn't there yet, so they didn't get in trouble. And who was gonna tell Sonic he can't kiss his girlfriend in class? Amy kissed Sonic so hard that he was thinking, "Let's have sex."
What?
Oh, right. Okay, I got it. But didn't say it because the teacher would show up by the time they started to have sex in history class. Sonic kissed back really hard, and it was sexy to everyone.
Amy, do you know I know sex food? Not in there, but I felt like I had to have it.
The teacher arrived, and they did class. That's how it's written.
Did class.
But Sonic just looked at Amy the whole time, who was sitting next to Rouge. Amy and Rouge talked, and they looked at Sonic sometimes and laughed, and Sonic thought Amy was telling her about how awesome Sonic kissed her, but it was not. So, Rouge was telling Amy about Sonic's gay ball problems. And Amy was Sonic's girlfriend, that is capitalized, but she thought it was just the funniest thing ever. Class ended and Sonic went up to Amy quick and did not stop on the way. "Hey, Amy." Oh, go ahead.
"Hey, Amy, why do you go telling Rouge about how hard we kiss? Wink."
Yeah, there's a smiley face in there.
Smiley face emoji.
Said Sonic with a smile on his face that meant that he did not care that Amy did this. And really wanted her to because it made him look cooler.
Actually, Rouge was telling me about the problems with your balls and your penis and like your butthole, and that everyone found out about it in your English class.
Wow, was Sonic surprised. He did not know what to say.
That's where we're in the first chapter.
Chapter 2.
We're just gonna keep this train rolling.
The prom.
You want to take this or should I?
Please. No, I'm...
Okay.
If a voice comes up, you gotta do it.
Okay.
The rest of the day for Sonic was awful. So bad that Sonic went home and right to the bathroom and took a big poop. It was a mad poop because it went out fast. It shooted out of his butthole so fast that it was like a gun shooting. His poop stunk so much that even the neighbors could smell it. And they all had a meeting at night about what to do about it. And they decided that they would just put fans on outside if it really started to smell again. And if it really started to smell, they would do something else. So Sonic pooped and went to his room and shouted into his pillow, "I hate..." Oh. Oh, "I hate everything," Sonic shouted loud, and he heard a knock at his door.
"What is wrong, Sonic?" asked Sonic's mom. "Nothing," said Sonic. "Okay, just keep it down because I'm trying to watch the telly," said Sonic's mom to Sonic, and left without saying anything else. Sonic was in his room still, so he looked out to the window and saw Tails flying there with his flying tails. "Sonic, you okay?" asked Tails. "I was worried about you, Sonic." Sonic was less mad because Tails was always nice and smart and didn't care that Sonic left his porns around his room. So he could think about kissing and doing sex on Amy when he wasn't with Amy. "Please, come on, be happy," said Tails. "You there?" Sonic went to the window and opened the window. Sonic grabbed Tails and put him on the bed because Sonic is strong too. "Oh my god, this day is the worst," said Sonic. "Everyone thinks I'm a gay loser, all because I gave them a journal."
I really like this next line.
Sonic cried a little, and Tails put his hand under his face to catch his tears.
Because
Tears can stay in a carpet. Tails hugged Sonic and said, "I'm always here for you. The prom is tonight also." Wow, I forgot, said Sonic. Sonic ran to his closet fast and pulled out his prom uniform. It's a tuxedo. And put it on faster. Is our limo here yet, Tails? Said Sonic while looking at Tails. Yeah, said Tails, right back. Let's go, said Sonic. And Sonic went outside with Tails, who was also in prom clothing, and they went outside and got to the limo.
Please let me do this.
Okay, can I do the voice?
Go ahead. You
Okay.
can definitely do the voice.
The limo was broken.
Said the limo driver, who looked like a person but darker colored. Sonic and Tails got out of the limo and asked the limo driver if they could fix it.
Nah, limo totally broken eternally.
Said the limo driver, so Sonic grabbed Tails' hand and said,
Let's go.
and ran all the way to the and ran all the way to the prom, which was on an island called Ghost Island.
This place is scary.
Said Tails. Ghost Island was really scary. It was shaped like a skull, and everything looked like it was dead. Sonic looked at Tails.
Wink. Yeah, it is.
Said Sonic.
Why would the put the prom?
It's misspelled. I love it.
You can tell it's intentional too. Why would put the prom on this island?
Said Tails.
I don't see anyone else from school here.
Tails and Sonic were both worried about it all. Sonic and Tails walked forward, and there was a haunted house. Sonic and Tails went into the... I'm sorry, this is so stupid. Sonic and Tails went into the haunted house, and it was spooky. Sonic saw a ghost, and Tails saw a mummy. There was a man laughing.
Sonic and Tails, now you are both here and fallen right into my trap.
Said the man laughing. The man looked like a fat, immature gay. Of course, it was Eggman.
Eggman, why, you're here?
Why you're here? Asked Sonic and shouted at Eggman.
Are you here for the Chaos Emeralds?
Sonic shook his fist at Eggman, and Tails ran up. But what an idiot he was, because a cage fell down from the top of the sky and trapped Tails.
You are doomed now.
Said Eggman.
Welcome to Graveyard of You.
That's, again, the spelling is fantastic. Welcome to a graveyard of you. Anyway.
Hemingway, eat your heart out. Steinbeck can suck it. Poe, Peter off this mortal coil.
Shakespeare is rolling in his grave. Sonic was shocked, but did not run. I'm sorry. Sonic was shocked, but did not run forward because he did not want to get caught too. But what if Eggman did not have another cage? Sonic did not know, so he went to the side into a different room. This room was smaller and had carpets and wallpaper. It was still scary though.
I got this one. Sonic said, I need to find a way out and to save Tails. He walked into a door that was on the next wall. Next thing, said Sonic, and he came out of the room into the same room he was in. Oh, this is a haunted house, so you always come back to the same place, said Sonic, thinking of a famous saying he once saw on the wall of a Walgreens where it was written.
What?
Eggman laughed and pointed at Sonic. I kissed Amy, and now you can never date her again because I'm going to do sex to her tonight. No, this cannot be real, said Sonic. Sonic knew that he had to do something. But what? Chapter 3, The Two Most Important People.
Sonic ran the fastest right to Dr. Eggman, right through his traps, and jumped on a floating platform that Eggman was standing on.
I'm coming for you,
said Sonic, and he jumped up right to the platform, and got so close, but fell because it was just too high to reach even for Sonic. Sonic said,
oh, damn,
and ran up the staircase that was in the middle of the big room that were under Eggman. Sonic ran to the top, and at the top, he jumped again from a higher spot, and this time reached the platform because it was easier to get to.
Now, you are mine!
Shouted Sonic right to Eggman in his ear.
Okay, I can make Eggman sound more ridiculous if you guys want that.
Of course.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Alright. Tommy Wiseau is too dignified for Eggman. I am not going to fall this easily,
Said Eggman, who then grabbed the crystal remote control out of his pocket and pressed the button on it that made a dome of lasers around Eggman.
Get out of here!
Yelled Eggman.
I am Eggman, and I will have my way with the treasures of this island.
Said Eggman. Eggman flew up higher on his platform, and Sonic had already fell from the lasers that were on the floating platform. So Sonic didn't get to go too.
Aw.
Eggman disappeared into a purple and black portal that was on top of the ceiling. It's misspelled, I love it. And Sonic was left at the bottom of the room on the middle of the stairs.
Okay, I got these next two.
I'll go for it.
Yeah. Amy still has to be here somewhere, and I need to get Tails out of that locked cage, said Sonic, thinking about what he should do next. Sonic ran up the stairs really fast, and down the hallway at the top of the stairs on the second floor. Sonic picked a door and ran into the door. The room Sonic ran into had a big picture of an old man on it, and he looked just so old that it was like seeing a skeleton right there. Sonic said, "Well, this man probably died ages ago and left all his money from being a real estate agent to his sons who built this place." Sonic thought this was not the right room to be in, so he left and went into the next room. This was the right room to be in. Sonic knew immediately. There was a big red bed, and Amy was tied with a rope around her feet and hands, and there was another rope around her head with a lock in her mouth, so she couldn't open it or say anything at all. Sonic ran right to the bed without doing anything. Before doing that, and untied Amy with his sonic speed. Jesus Christ.
I'm so glad you're here, said Amy. This prom is so not turning out like I hoped it would be when I brought this dress.
Amy was wearing a pretty red dress that was like what she normally wears, but longer, and there were 2 flowers on the 2 shoulders. Amy's dress also made her boobs look bigger, Sonic noticed. Sonic thought for just a moment that this was the perfect moment to give sex to Sorry. Sonic thought that this was the perfect moment to get her to give sex to him. But he did not do it because Tails still needed help. Where is the key to open Tails' cage?
That's the correct response. Let's be real.
Said Sonic to Amy. We need to open Tails' cage. He can't get out the cage.
I saw Eggman put a key in his safe behind a picture in a room you were just in.
Said Amy.
How does she know?
So let's go get it.
Amy and Sonic ran to the next room, and Sonic got there first. He is the faster one in the relationship. Wink! Sonic punched his big, strong hand right through the painting like a bodybuilder and found the safe behind the painting. Well, this safe needs a password. Morpheus? Said Sonic. What could it be? Sonic thought long and hard about everything he knew about Eggman. Sonic knew Eggman was a gay asshole who always ruined Sonic's plans to be the hero. And now he ruined Sonic's prom. Sonic tapped on his brain and thought harder. Maybe the password is his name. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, that would be a line from Sonic, but no.
Maybe the password is his name,
Said Amy. It was not, and Sonic knew it before Sonic put it into the safe lock. I love her for her body, thought Sonic. Sonic thought harder and had an idea. What if the password is Finally shouted
That's what it
Sonic
says.
at Amy. Amy, who was there, said,
What does that mean?
Amy, Sonic's girlfriend, was confused. It's Chaos Emeralds backwards, what he really wants, but messed up, so he would never guess it, screamed Sonic, so happy. Sonic typed the password into the safe, and would you know it, it popped open and there was this big key. So Sonic took it. Sonic ran down the stairs, and then Amy did, and Sonic opened Tails' cage, and Tails got out. I'm so glad to be safe, won again. Thanks to you, Sonic, the day is saved. Tails was smiling bigger than a crocodile having a silly dream. I mean, that does sound like a very Christopher Walken thing to do.
I kind of love that line, though.
It's a good.
Every once in a while, this author stumbles upon a nice little metaphor that hits the ear like a What is wrong, Sonic? Everything is right now. Said
Sonic.
Said Sonic. No, whatever, fuck it. No. No, it isn't, said Sonic, so mad and sad. Eggman got away without a real punishment for what he did. Sonic shook his face at the sky, thinking about how Eggman slipped away like a slippery balloon that Sonic let go of.
But we're all safe, said Amy. That is what really matters.
Sonic figured right then that Amy's superpower must be being nice because, like you knew it before, it wasn't being smart, which Tails was best, and Sonic is also good at it too. Sonic did not even think about how his day at school was bad anymore because his balls did not really even itch anymore. Sonic laughed, Tails laughed, Amy laughed, and they went home ready for the next day of high school.
Chapter 4.
What?
That's it, yeah. It has to feel abrupt.
Getting a date. Sonic did like in the first What?
Sonic is allergic to pacing.
Sonic did like in the first chapter and went to school again.
Oh my god, he's self-aware.
It's growing intelligent. They're learning. Now it's lunchtime, and Sonic was in the lunchroom. Sonic was telling all of the people at his table, who were Tails, Knuckles, Espio, Shadow, and Charmy B, about what happened yesterday. But Tails already knew, so he was nodding his head the whole time like a good friend.
You should have seen it,
said Sonic.
I was in the haunted house, and I shot Eggman, but I let him get away right before I could have killed him.
Sonic laughed and Tails laughed at the same time. Knuckles said,
You should stop going on these cool adventures because high school is more important,
said Knuckles. And Sonic knew it was right because it's called Sonic High School. And it should be more about the high school part of it. So Sonic asked them all what they're up to,
Well, I'm entering the science competition.
said Tails.
To win the science competition, I have to come up with the best invention. And my invention is this invisibility hat. It makes you invisible, but I can't do it right now because I have to make sure it works perfect for the science competition.
Tails was so smart that Sonic knew he would win the science competition because Tails is like an Einstein.
Nerd!
Shouted Knuckles right into Tails' ear. What a bad guy.
I'm just hanging out and not going to class because I want to cause trouble,
said Knuckles. Knuckles was so bad that he would cause trouble. Sonic thought Knuckles was a fuck. Shadow was next, and he was badder than Knuckles, but in a different way.
I'm not going to be around much longer.
What?
It's fine. He always did ellipses at the end of what he was saying because it was mysterious.
Where,
I want you to know that there's an ellipses at the end of what he just said, so...
Yeah. Where are you going?
Said Tails, because he was curious.
I am going to kill my parents.
Said Shadow.
What?
See, this is how Shadow is worse than Knuckles. He did serious bad things. At least at the end of the day, Knuckles could sleep. Shadow is too dark for that.
Well, I am going to try out for the football team. Maybe Blitzy will notice me.
Said Espio. Espio was...
Really? It's gotta be Stolas.
Okay, we can do Stolas for Espio. said...
You know
SBO.
why.
Oh, God, that's right. Okay. SBO was athletic like Sonic, but not as fast. But he had a horn on his nose that was good for attacking people in front of him. So Sonic thought he would be good at football.
Oh, God.
There's so many characters.
I'm struggling to figure out which offensive voice to give this character.
There's so many characters. Why are there
no.
so many characters in Sonic?
Well, I'm going out for the play.
Said Charmy B.
Charmy B was loud and singing always. You're an annoying fag, so you should do great, said Knuckles.
Do not hurt my feelings.
Said Charmy. Charmy was used to being hectored, so he was able to remove himself from his potent fury. Oh, did you see Rouge just now? Said Espio. She is looking so hot in her tiny bra. Espio obviously wanted to kiss her deep. You should ask her out, said Sonic. Oh, but the prom was yesterday, said Espio. Well, that is okay. You can date any time, said Sonic. Oh, said Espio. Well, then I am gonna kiss her and sex her tonight. Espio was like a little boy looking at his mom's boob for the first time.
What?
Sonic and Tails together were both looking at each other, and they wanted to help Espio. We're gonna help you get a date, said Sonic and Tails at the same time. Right? Fortunately, I can't do two voices. And we're gonna do it right now, said Sonic and Tails. Sonic and Tails got up and both grabbed one of Espio's arms and dragged him across the room. Sonic did most of the dragging because he is stronger and put him right at Rouge.
Oh, what is this about?
Said Rouge with a questioning sound. She blinked her eyelids like a race car.
What do you want? Why are you here?
Espio looked into her eyes with a passion like 100 barking dogs and said, Rouge, will you come out with me? Espio was sweating, and there were drops of sweat dropping off his hands in front of her.
Oh, I don't know.
Said Rouge and looked at Espio. Rouge gave him a sexy look that made Espio feel in love.
Oh.
Please do it, said Sonic and Tails together at the same time.
Oh, okay, little pocket rocket,
said Rouge.
We go on a date tonight.
Sonic and Tails and Espio were stoked and high-fived right there. By the time this night ended, one of them would have done their first sex. Well, here's the hard part, said Espio. How do I put sex in her without getting in trouble? Sonic and Tails looked at each other and thought, uh-oh, and Espio walked out while holding onto Rouge's boobies.
Well, it's okay.
Because they are now boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's allowed to do it. Chapter 5.
Yeah, we're so close.
You go ahead. I need a break.
It was the end of the day at school. Oh, I'm sorry. Chapter 5. Preparations.
I'm sorry.
It was the end of the day at school, and it was time that Sonic and Tails and Knuckles got back on the bus at the bus stop to board it all the way from home to school. To school from home. We are on the bus now, said Tails. No more classes. Tails was happy, but sad because he is smart. Sonic and Tails sat down together, and Knuckles sat in the middle of the aisle, which he usually did not do, but sometimes did when not everyone was on the bus. It looked like Espio and Rouge were not on the bus because, well, they were about to get busy. They were about to get ready to go sex tonight now that they are boyfriend and girlfriend. Knuckles laid across the aisle, even more stretched out than when he just sat across two seats, because now the limits were the Alpha and the Omega.
How can we help Espio?
Said Sonic to Tails. Tails responded,
I don't know.
and thought about it on the bus. The bus drove bumpy on the bumpful roads all the way home. And then they all got out of the bus stop that they normally got in the bus. Why is it written like this?
They got on the bus at just like always.
Sonic ran out of the bus, and then Tails and Knuckles in order. "Time to go home," said Tails.
We're almost there.
And they walked the rest of the way home. When they got home, it was dinner time. I'm so excited for this part. When they got home, it was dinner time, and Sonic was at a different home from Tails and Knuckles because they were all in different families. So they did not live together. And Sonic's mom made a dinner. That's how it's written.
Yeah.
Sonic's mom made Chinese food, and Sonic ate it. And at the end, there was a fortune cookie. And Sonic broke it apart and ate the cookie part and kept the paper that was inside that held a magical fortune on it. Sonic looked at the fortune and read it to himself inside of his head.
The path to glory begin at the base of your friend's penis.
The path of glory begins at the base of your friend's penis. I just had to say it
You're
again.
fine.
It's just such a good line, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you even managed to make it sound less racist. Thank you. Hey, I already did the work.
Said Sonic inside of his head, reading the fortune cookie paper, and he knew it was a good sign for what was about to happen tonight when Espio and Rouge went to sex. Then the phone rang. Sonic ran to the phone and picked it up and said, "Hello," into it. It was Tails. "I have an idea," said Tails on the phone to Sonic, who was listening but not speaking. "I can give Espio my invisibility hat for the science competition, and he can use it to do sex with Rouge." Sonic smiled so wide, like the King of Fire finding out he burned down New York City with only his fire powers.
I mean, that is his one job, though.
He had one thing to do. Anyway, Sonic and Tails went to Espio's house later, which was not too easy to walk to normally for most people. But Sonic is super fast, so he ran there and helped Tails get there too, seeing as Tails is not as fast as Sonic. They knocked on the house, and Espio came out of the door.
Here is my invisibility hat you can use with Rouge tonight to make sex in. It makes it impossible to see and impossible to hear you when you're wearing the hat, or when someone who is wearing the hat wants you to also be impossible to see and impossible to hear. Scream Tails. Oh god.
Scream Tails.
I could do that as screaming, but it would probably make my head explode. Scream Tails, from whose voice was a little hoarse from ordering food, with a lunch lady whose hearing was lost in an earthquake in her childhood.
You know, some good exposition.
Yeah, here's a wild little briefing for you guys. The lunch lady is a recurring character.
She will return.
Tails had to say the things he wanted so loud, and she would still say, "What?" And Tails wondered why she even had ears if she wasn't going to use them. Espio grabbed the invisibility hat from Tails' hands and said, "Cool, thanks," and kept going, so Sonic and Tails left and wished him good luck far away at their own homes. Back at home, Sonic thought that it would be good that Espio would get sex into Rouge, so then he could explain it to Sonic. And Sonic would know how to find Amy's sex spots even better, because otherwise he would have to read about it online. Because all he knew about was kissing, which wasn't really sex, but it was probably kind of the same thing. And Sonic would just read about it online before talking about it anyway, and he would know the right words for the things then. Sonic sat on his chair that was in front of his Sonic computer and opened up Sonic Instant Messenger.
It's really fast. It's instant.
Better be. And messaged Amy, not if they're on AOL, and messaged Amy, who was doing the same thing, but at her home, and said, "Hey, Amy, I want to finally become true boyfriend and girlfriend by reaching sex this weekend." Sonic waited for a long time on his computer, and it seemed like Amy was not there because she did not respond to anything. Sonic played games online, and beat all the final bosses because he was like an alien sent to Earth to destroy records set by others. Then, finally, Amy responded. What Amy said was, "No way!" Sonic was so shocked, his brain must have felt like a total idiot.
I am so excited.
Well, there's the disclaimer before this one.
What?
Chapter 6, Espio and Rouge. Warning, contains the worst sex scene ever written.
Let me read.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna. You guys are in for a treat because it's not the worst sex scene ever written. It has some of the most hilarious bits in this whole goddamn story.
I'm so excited for this.
Take it away.
Espio walked to Rouge's house because it was time for their date together, and all Espio could think about was that they were about to make sex for the first time. Espio looked at the computer and read about what to do and what the right words were so he would know how it works, and how to say it right, so no one would make fun of him. It was Rouge's house he was at now, and it was in front of him. Espio knocked Rouge's house's door.
I hope she is home,
said Espio, and she was. She opened the door just then.
Oh, hello. I'm home,
said Rouge, looking always sexy in her tiny baby bra and big cool boobs.
Because of course we have to have Angel Dust fuck Stolas. They're the only two people who are compatible in this situation.
Espio thought she looked like the hottest woman in the world that he could see from here.
What are you taking me out on where are you taking me on a date tonight?
Whispered Rouge in a sex-filled voice.
Espio had thought this one over on the way over so that he could say it right the first time and get her to do what he wanted. That's sex. Well, said Espio, just let me put this science hat on and we will begin sex.
Rouge looked shocked, but she was probably excited too. Espio could tell that they both had an erection.
An erection. What? An erection.
An erection.
An erection.
What?
Said Rouge in a shocked way.
Oh, right here?
Espio said, yes. This hat was made by Tails specifically for our date. It makes it impossible to see and impossible to hear while I'm wearing it. Espio did a cool face at her because being smart can be cool too, as long as you're not a nerd ass. Rouge said, okay, let's go inside, and gently grabbed Espio's hand, but he pulled it back, and she felt him causing him to fall, and they both together fell onto the grass where they rolled around in it until they were about in the middle of Rouge's house's front lawn. So there was plenty of room around them for activity.
That was all one sentence.
No,
said Espio.
I want to make sex in you right here.
And Espio put on the invisibility hat so nobody could see or hear them, and a whole new world of possibilities were optioned to them so that they could do sex in whatever way they wanted. And it was time to start sex right now.
Rouge,
not Rouge.
Jumped the gun. Espio revealed his penis to Rouge, who looked at it. Rouge said, cool. And Rouge said, cool, and took out her vagina. Espio's penis was really big from looking at Rouge, like when he is in church, but it's so boring. But you just get a boner anyway. Rouge's vagina looked like a surprised ghost. SBO's penis approached Rouge like a plane flying down at the airport. But instead of being full of businessmen, it was full of SBO's creamy Italian salad dressing. Oh, here it comes!
Cried SBO, ramming his mauve Avenger into Rouge's vagina spot. Rouge screamed sex noises, and SBO messed around with her boobs and face like she was the X-Men arcade game. You know the Colossus is in there somewhere.
He's got to armor up. Hey, Colossus would wrap it up.
SBO slapped his big awesome penis from side to side in her vagina like a hot dog. Like a hot dog windshield wiper. And while Rouge was ripping grass from the lawn. Then SBO used his tail to flip her over because he can do this.
He can do this.
And put his vagina into her. I ruined it.
Can I take the end?
Please, I messed up too many times.
Then SBO used his tail to flip her over. He can do this. And put his penis into her butt. He moved his penis in circles in her butthole. Like he was building a golf course and digging out the back nine. God, I might as well just read this like Jeremy Clarkson. Rouge was flaring her bat wings like an idiot and not flying because SBO's was holding onto her ass cheeks and pressing into them with his fingers and leaving marks that looked like it said, "Wow," when combined with the spot where her butthole is. And that is what she felt because SBO seemed to be a sex professional. SBO used his tail again to flip her over and did all-star sex things, like using his penis like a rolling pin on her face.
All-star sex things.
Yeah, and plugging his penis into her belly button to see how far it would go.
What?
And making a balls hurricane with swirling his balls and her balls.
Okay.
Finally, they got so sexy that SBO's penis ejaculated and semen came out of it and landed on Rouge, who was lying there on the lawn.
There on the lawn.
But nobody could see them, so it was okay. At that part, SBO screamed, "Ah, it's semen time!" And Rouge screamed, "Ah, oh, create a generation in me!" SBO ejaculated into her vagina, and that was what happened.
Now that they were done doing sex, they put their penis and vagina and balls away. And SVO took off the invisibility hat, and it was like nothing had ever happened. But they both know it did, because they were there for it.
Bye-bye,
said SVO, and SVO walked off her property and away to his house, and did the rest of his things until school happened the very next day.
Chapter 7, Teenage Women.
Oh no.
Chapter 7,
We'll see how far we can get.
yeah, let's say. Well, let us see how far they'll let us go. We had front sex, whispered SBO at the people at his lunch table. SBO was at school in the lunchroom, and also was Tails and Knuckles and Charmy Bee, and Vector too. I ejaculated from my penis into her body. Bet you haven't done that. They had not done that. Wow, cool. You are the coolest after Sonic, said Tails, who was right there, so he didn't have to shout. It was good not to shout, because this was supposed to be a secret. Tails did not hear the whole school. talking about Espio's penis and balls, like with Sonic in Chapter 1, but in a different way. Sex!
Again, another voice.
Oh god, another voice. Well, I don't think we'll see Eggman very soon. I'll just make him like, I'll bring on Arnold.
Yes, speaking of Sonic, where is that gay bag?
Said Vector, who was the captain of the school's football team. Vector was good at this because he was big and strong and had sharp teeth under his mouth.
Just kidding,
Said Vector's.
Sonic is cool.
I don't know, said Tails to Vector. Where Sonic was somewhere else. Trying to find Amy, who was not at lunch.
I forgot about this chapter.
Sonic was knocking on Amy's door at her house. Are you home? Said Sonic. Are you home? It was like Amy was not home. Because she was not opening the door. Sonic was worried about Amy because she was his only girlfriend, even if she denied his sex offer. So he ran into the door and barged it down like it was made of nothing. Oh, I was at that panel. That was pretty cool. Sonic was now in Amy's house. Amy's house was really pink because it was Amy's color. Sonic looked around Amy's house for Amy, but Sonic did not find anyone. Sonic finally went to Amy's bedroom and opened the door up.
What Sonic saw next was what he did not expect. Amy was there, tied up on her bed, with a thing in her mouth so she couldn't talk. Sonic did a scream and ran over to Amy, who was looking at his with tears in her eyes. She looked sad and starved, like African kids. Sonic untied Amy, and she sat up.
Sorry, no, Sonic united.
What? Oh. Sonic united Amy, and she sat up and cried into Sonic's arms.
Oh, it was awful.
Said Amy.
He came into my room in the evening and tied me up on his bed and messed up the things in my room.
Amy was right. Her room looked messy.
So, like, get a maid.
Said Sonic, always thinking about a solution to the problems.
Who tied you up? Who was it? Be calm. Amy, calm down and talk to me.
Sonic patted Amy on the back to help her.
It was Shadow. I saw him outside his house next door with a machine gun and a sword, going in his house to kill his mom. And he saw me. He knew I saw him, so he tied me up like a brigand.
Amy said all of this. Sonic was shocked that Amy said this to him. He remembered now, he remembered in that other part when Shadow said he was going to kill his mom. But no one thought about it more than once because Shadow was always a bad guy. What they didn't realize was that Shadow was serious. Okay, was it him who also said that you would not have sex with me on Sonic Messenger? Said Sonic to Amy.
Yes, I did not talk to you then.
Spoke Amy back to Sonic. So, how do you really feel about Samurai? Asked Sonic, whose brain was now humming with sex ideas.
Shit, I don't know, said Amy, still all worked up. Give me a day. Right now, let's get things right.
So Sonic and Amy went back to school where everyone else was
It was
besides
totally
them.
normal.
Sonic and Amy saw Espio walking around between a lot of other people. Hey, here you are, said Espio to Sonic and Amy. I had sex with Rouge last night. Do not tell everyone, said Espio.
I think we did.
Oops. Oh, that's right. You did. I almost forgot, said Sonic.
I would never forget that.
Do you hear that, Amy? And Amy was like, yep. Not even a line, just ancillary dialogue. Yep.
Yep.
You gotta tell me all about. Yep. You gotta tell me all about it later, so that I know what to do to Amy," said Sonic, and then turned around. Sonic heard a sound coming from. Do you want to move it to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonic heard a... You can still do the voices. Sonic heard a sound coming from down the hallway where someone was coming. It was a really fat guy that looked so huge to him. The fat guy got closer and closer until they could see who it was. And it was Rouge.
Exclamation point. Where they met.
Yeah.
Wow. You're so fat now.
Said Espio.
What's that about?
Rouge looked mad and surprised at Espio.
Well, you got me pregnant.
Said Rouge.
Oh my god.
Thought Sonic to himself without saying it with his voice.
Oh, she is pregnancy fat.
This means that she will have a baby. Amy was smiling for real to Rouge. As opposed
That's so nice. I hope you have a great baby.
said Amy. Sonic tried to be a good boyfriend and said,
Hope your baby is cool.
and smiled. Espio looked more worried than anybody else.
So, I am gonna be your baby's dad?
Said Espio, both worried and excited.
Better believe it, fag boy.
Said a voice that sounded just like Shadow's. This is just so.
Yeah, I mean, we're an hour in. We can keep, if they'll let us keep going. I'm willing to keep going if you guys want us to. I don't think there's anything else left unless they're gonna kick us out.
Well, let's find out. Chapter 8. Things change.
I know.
Shadow!
Sonic shouted. It was Shadow. He was there.
Surprised to see me?
Said Shadow, who was there.
We know what you did to your mother.
Screamed Amy like a crazy man.
It was.
Shadow cut her off and did not let her finish saying the sentence.
Okay, I gotta do something else because Shadow's voice is gonna kill my throat.
Yeah. You gotta loosen that one up.
Yeah. Alright, how about Shadow's Tommy Wiseau? That'll work. You did not see anything. I am Shadow and I know how to commit crime. You think I have not killed a person before? I have.
Shadow crossed his arms and sneered at Amy, looking at her.
But I saw you.
Then Amy said,
Ha!
You saw nothing! I stopped you.
Shadow said,
It doesn't matter. You were on your way inside your house to kill your mom.
said Amy. Amy shook around because she was all nervous, and her smaller than Rouge's, but still good boobs, wiggled a little. And why would they do that? I'm
Why
sorry.
would they not in this story?
But her still good boobs wiggled a little, and Sonic thought it was cool to see, and he just wanted to support her.
So, I did not kill my mom. I was going in to my house to protect her from Dr. Eggman. Shadow said. Okay,
Said Sonic.
And Sonic and Espio and went to class because it started and they are still in high school hallway. Still in the high school hallway. Jesus, that
It's so hard to read this.
broke my brain.
It's literally written the way that we're saying it, and it's just so bad.
He was trying to ship my Ultra Chaos Emerald shards to space so he could collect them in his big egg space station, said Shadow to Amy in an explaining way.
We gotta do something about him. I understand that you had a reason to tie me up, but do not kill your mother,
Responded Amy. I was only kidding. Because the other guys were all being too important about themselves. I did not think that it is a good quality for high school students to be. High school students should be nice and caring and not talk about themselves like they are the best, because that will only make us all assholes, which isn't what we should be trying to be. Shadow said that to Amy, and she understood that he was a good guy and had a reason for tying her up on a bed. Even if he had bad times when he was dark and did crimes in the cityscape. They both went to class in different directions, so the conversation ended. Later,
Yeah, sure. Later after school, Sonic went on Sonic Instant Messenger and talked to Espio. Hey Espio, how are you? Do you know what you're gonna do about being Rouge's babies? Yep. He said into the computer. Listen, Sonic, this is hard for me to say, said Espio into the computer, which went across the internet to Sonic. I want to get Rouge to get an abortion.
No. Say it right.
I'll say it correctly. I want to get Rouge to get a abortion.
Not an abortion, a abortion.
To get a abortion. Not an abortion, a abortion. Sonic was upset because Rouge's baby would not survive. In fact, Rouge's baby would die. There has to be another way, said Sonic into Sonic's Instant Messenger. But if you really want to, that's okay. Because it is your decision.
Awkward.
Good, because I want you to help me. I am going to go to Rouge tomorrow at school and slip her the abortion pill into one of her meals. You will help me by distracting her from me, said Espio then.
Okay, see you then.
Spelled like letter C, letter U. Okay, see you then, said Sonic. The next day happened, and Sonic was at lunch.
I won the science competition, but you didn't come, Sonic,
said Tails in a sad, mad way.
I wanted you to come because I am such a good friend to you. But you did not. But I won anyway without you.
That's how you get an Oscar. Tails was mad at Sonic, which did not usually happen because they were the best friends.
Wow, sorry, Tails. I was so busy, and I did not know,
said Sonic, trying to make Tails happy.
Kiss my ass, dick!
Screamed Tails to Sonic and flew out of the room with his flying tails.
Oh, this is awful,
said Sonic.
He is my best friend, bro.
Sonic knew this was a big problem, but changed his mind to thinking about Rouge and Espio, and then went over to where Rouge... This is so bad. And went over to where Rouge was going to get the abortion pill from Espio. Vector was there too, which was weird because he usually was not.
Okay, Espio, are you ready?
Said Sonic only to Espio. Espio shook his head yes. Wait, who's saying this? It's Sonic.
Hey, Rouge, how are you doing today? How was class? Did you have lots of homework? What are you eating for lunch?
Sonic said to Rouge to distract her from Espio. Looks like Sonic did it perfectly because while he was asking these things, Espio put the abortion pill in Rouge's salad. Rouge ate salads because she is thin. Rouge answered the questions, but no one was paying attention because they were glad it was done.
Oh, what is this?
Said Rouge, suddenly looking like a shocked woman.
Wait, what? What is wrong?
Asked Espio. He was worrying that Rouge found the abortion pill in her salad.
Oh, I think I'm having my baby. Here it comes.
Rouge said. Rouge said this before she could even eat the abortion pill. So everyone knew the baby was coming for real.
I'm gonna need your guys' help on this. The phrase is, oh no. Ready?
3.
1, 2, 3. Oh no!
All of them said together, except Rouge. Rouge laid down on the ground, and they put a curtain around her, so no one could really see what was going on. because it was about to get really gross. They could see the baby start to come out of her butt. And it was crying a lot. Everyone wanted the baby to shut the fuck up because they were just trying to have lunch. But now there is a baby coming out in the lunchroom at high school. Mrs. Lesson, who was also the school nurse, said,
Get out of my way, kids. I have to help this baby get out of Bruges. Babies are too weak to do this by themselves.
Mrs. Lesson went behind the curtain and helped pull the baby. Oh, I'm sorry. Helped pull the baby out of Rouge's butthole, and it was still crying. Could you believe it? It was still crying. Rouge was exhausted from her baby, but Mrs. Lesson was not. Mrs. Lesson held the baby in her hands while it was still crying, and held it out to everyone.
Everyone, look at it!
Said Mrs. Lesson. Rouge's baby was red and had long hair and big white fists.
Oh.
That is the correct reaction.
Oh God. I think I've got 2 more in me. I think that's about it.
We're not out of here yet.
I mean, I don't want to keep these folks here forever.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
One more. Yeah. Thank you guys for staying over a little longer.
I hope you're having fun.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. So, Rouge's baby continued to do crying louder than a monster truck. Sonic looked at the baby really close.
Hey, Espia,
Said Sonic.
aren't babies supposed to look like you? Rouge's baby doesn't look like you, but looks like someone else I know.
Sonic rubbed his chin and thought about who it was that it looked like.
Yes, SBO. Rouge's baby looks like Knuckles.
Said Vector.
Haha, cool. I'm going to tell him.
Vector ran like a crocodile would to find Knuckles to tell him that what he said. Rouge was still on the ground, looking all tired and sore, and Mrs. Lesson was rubbing her butt because it was hurting from the baby that came out when she gave birth to her baby. This dang baby was still crying.
Espio looked worried about it.
You guys are right. Why does that baby not look like me?
Espio went over to Mrs. Lesson, who was holding the baby still, and looked closer, and still could not see himself in the baby.
This does not make sense.
Said Espio to the baby. Just then, Vector came out of the door. Oh my gosh, not again. Just then, Vector came out of the door, and there was Knuckles too, puffing and puffing, and looking surprised. Knuckles went right to Rouge, and looked at the baby. Whoa, he said.
No, you gotta pronounce that right.
I'm not...
Yeah.
Wagyu!
Wagyu, he said, apparently. Making that sound when he saw the baby, which was Rouge's baby, that looked like him. The baby was still crying.
What is wrong with you?
Yelled Knuckles at Rouge.
Why did you have to have a baby? Now, I get to be your dad.
He kept yelling at her with the maddest feelings. Knuckles thought about his horoscope that he read this morning, and it read,
Your biggest fear will come true, so you better watch out.
Now he knew what that meant. It was about Rouge's baby, because Knuckles did not want this responsibility. It was harder than having a dog.
Boy, I'll say. Rouge was tired, and Rouge's baby was crying. But Rouge was crying and scared of Knuckles' volcano rage, and said,
I'm sorry. It was supposed to be Espio's baby. I'm sorry it wasn't because he would not treat me like this.
What Rouge said sent Knuckles into the next level of his anger. He turned even redder and looked at Espio.
You tried to have a baby with her? Rouge is mine. You are not allowed.
Knuckles charged at Espio, but Vector held him back. Sonic thought,
Vector, why would you bring him here if you just know it was going to cause trouble?
Espio said, what? I did not know. You are not boyfriend and girlfriend. Espio seemed scared, but still kind of calm.
We are, but it was a secret. Now you have to pay.
Knuckles kept trying to get at Espio, but Vector was holding him back. And thank goodness Vector was here, because he was the captain of the football team and could restrain him like a crocodile seatbelt that could also talk to you. Knuckles could not get to him, so he said, Vector.
I don't know who's saying.
Knuckles, Knuckles could not get to him, so he said, tomorrow we fight. Meet me in the hallway at the end of school and prepare for me to beat on your ass. Shit, man.
Knuckles
Go ahead.
stormed out of the lunchroom and went away. Rouge's baby stopped crying and said,
No, come back. You don't have to fight SPO.
but it was too late because Knuckles was so gone by then. Rouge patted her baby on the head and said,
Shh. You should go get to sleep and get your rest, baby. You're probably tired.
So Rouge's baby went to sleep and was finally quiet. Espio tried his best not to... I'm sorry. Espio tried his best not to look like a big tough guy and not panic, but he was secretly scared and went back to doing what he was doing before this baby thing happened. So Sonic did too. The rest of school and getting home from school happened. Sonic did not see Tails or Knuckles for any part of it. Tails was still mad at Sonic. Sonic took out his Sonic phone and on his way home called his girlfriend, Amy.
So, Amy, did you decide if you wanted to sex?
Said Sonic.
You know,
Said Amy.
Sonic, I am just too stressed out and nervous by everything going on at high school. Things are so crazy.
Damn.
Said Sonic, and hung up the phone, and finished getting home. Sonic thought he would never be true boyfriend and girlfriend with Amy at this rate. It was almost like she had a second boyfriend that Sonic did not know about. And that is why Sonic did not know. And that's why Amy did not want sex from Sonic. Oh, Somnic.
Sonic.
Sonic had dinner and then thought about his friends. Because you can't do those things simultaneously. Espio and Knuckles were both his friends, but they were intending to fight. What could Sonic do? Sonic figured that they are all still both his friends, but he would go visit Espio because he was not the one who said to fight, and because Knuckles had spikes on his hands that would make it hard to beat him in a fight. Sonic went to Espio's house.
Ding dong!
Said Espio's doorbell.
And Sonic waited at the door. Espio showed up at the door and opened it. Hey, Sonic. Thanks for coming, said Espio to Sonic. You gotta help me prepare for this fight. We can start by learning how to get rid of puncture wounds. I was trying not to look nervous to Knuckles, but actually, I was. Also, did you hear about Charmy B? No, I did not hear, said Sonic back to Espio. Knuckles kidnapped that little gay and is threatening to hurt him if I don't show up to fight him tomorrow. So, I have to especially now because the gods will crush my soul even if Charmy B is an annoying idiot loser, said Espio then back to Sonic. Oh no, that's really bad, said Sonic. Sonic knew this now had to happen too because his morals were probably the best ever. He did not know Knuckles would stoop to such a mean thing. Sonic and Espio then walked into Espio's house and up the stairs to Espio's bedroom. Our other best friend is here too, said Espio, just as he was opening the door to his bedroom. Espio finished opening the door, and there was Tails, who was standing in Espio's room. The moment Tails saw Sonic, his face turned into a salad of anger, the devil, and lava.
Yeah.
If you guys are looking for closure, I'm afraid you're not going to get any.
No, there's
And
no
I-
way to finish this.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're going to stop for now.
All right.
Thank you guys for coming. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Enjoy the rest of the con.
And this is all generated by a computer, AI generated?
No,
No.
somebody actually wrote this.
This is a real.
Oh, because it sounds like that fan fiction website.
This is a real thing that you can
Yeah.
all Google.
Where is that? I wanna read
You can finish your
Where can we find it?
Just type in
Sonic
Sonic
High-
High School Archive of Our Own, or just AO3.
You can find it on the fanfiction website, but there's a lot of.
Yeah, I'd search for it on Archive of Our Own because that one's actually backed up on a server.
Yeah, the fanfiction.net version is
It's gone.
yeah. It's gone.
Because yeah, this thing is so old. It's from like I want to say 2007 or something. It's archaic.
So essentially, I'm surprised when they had this thing, they didn't have Von Schlemmer as the nurse.
Yeah, it's super old. It's one of the OG ones.
Wait, who's the author?